Now, obviously, this is never a situation that would actually take place. But, you know, there are these things, intrusive thoughts, where something will come into your mind, and it's always that what if kind of situation. And you kind of question yourself on what you would actually do in that situation. If our house is actually burning down, I'm not grabbing any material possessions at all. The most expensive things, my computer, which is my livelihood, I'm not focusing on any of that. I'm just focusing on getting myself and my fiance and whoever else is inside of the house out. And I'm sure you guys would probably do the same, especially if you have kids and so on. But let's say I wanted to sit down and think of what 10 fragrances I would grab if I were running out of the house because it caught on fire and I could only grab 10 and take them with me and then the rest just get burnt up. These are the ones that I would consider. Because you got to think, in that situation, things are going to be moving very quick. Your life is on the line. You have to make some choices really quick off the top of your head. They got to be things that are easy to get to, easy to access, and all of that. And these 10 here fit the bill. And you might think that I would just immediately go for all of my most expensive fragrances, the highest priced ones first, but you would be surprised. I will provide links to these down below to discounters if you want to pick any of these up or check any of these out. Also, let me know down in the comments if you want to play along. What fragrances would you grab if you could only take 10 with you before your house was burnt down or destroyed or flooded out or whatever it may be? You know, this one here to start off with is just one of my favorites that I've had around for a long time, since the very beginning. Men Prive. A little bit hard to get these days. Every now and then testers will show up on like FragranceNet. I have a mailing list that you can sign up to, and not too long ago some testers came in for really good stock. I sent an email out. They sold out pretty much instantly, but some of you guys were able to get your hands on it. And you know, it's one of those deals where it's just getting super hard to find. It's getting very expensive on places like eBay and things of the sort, which is a big shame. This is really all about the leather, the whiskey. There's a little bit of cardamom in here, but not a ton. A little bit of tonka bean, but not a ton either. It's leather doused in whiskey. This is perfect if you're wearing a leather jacket. You want something a little bit more rugged, a little bit more masculine. Just a beautiful scent. This one really is a work of art to me, and it's just the combination of everything together that makes this one so good. There's tons of leather fragrances out there, tons of whiskey fragrances out there, tons of tonka bean scents out there, right? A whole bunch of that stuff. But this particular combination and how everything is blended, it's truly one of a kind. I love this stuff, and I would definitely reach for this. Next up, we have Givenchy Gentleman Eau de Parfum Reserve Privé. I would be for sure looking around and trying to scoop this one up. You know, this is not really rare at all. In fact, it's brand new pretty much still, and you can get it at any retailer and just about any discounter. So that's not the reason behind me grabbing this, like with Men Prive, where there is a rarity to it, and it also is something that's been around in my collection forever. This is more so just, it's something that I would want to wear pretty much any time as long as it's cold outside. This has quickly become one of my favorites, and it's one that ultimately is almost always in the back of my mind. When I think of an Iris fragrance that I really love, this is one that pops up immediately. When I think of a boozy scent that I really enjoy, same deal, meets that criteria. When I think of a nice chestnut gourmand leaning fragrance that I really like a lot, this one shows up as well. You know, I think about those things often when I'm making videos and just thinking about what I want to wear, and so it makes sense for me to try to save this one. And we might as well daisy chain from one Iris to another. This one's actually Dior Homme Parfum. So definitely a rareness aspect behind this, especially because this is one of the 75 ml bottles. This one I actually got from Joma Shop. Testers came into stock for, what was it guys, $80, $85 or something. I know a few of you were able to get yours. A lot of people doubting it, a lot of people questioning it. I was a little bit skeptical myself, but this was a time where they pulled through and they provided the actual pictured product and the named product on their website. Dior Homme Parfum 2018 batch, the 75 ml for under $100. That is a complete rarity, complete steal. So if you're able to get one when that showed up, I think like last October or something, you're lucky. I'm glad I got one as well. So yeah, I've got backup bottles of this. I love this stuff. It's one of my all-time favorite designer fragrances, period, but also one of my favorite Iris scents as well. Has Iris, leather, there's some rose in here, a little bit of oud. It's strong, it's leathery, it's masculine, it's smooth and sexy and sweet. There's just so much going for this one, and without a doubt, I would for sure be grabbing this, and I would probably trying to grab all my backup bottles to scoop along with me as well, because I love this stuff. And with summer right around the corner, I would need something that's going to be fresh and uplifting that I can wear when it's starting to get warm outside. And Aqua Dijo Eau de Parfum would probably come to mind pretty quick. You know, a very obvious choice would also be Profumo. You guys know I'm a big fan of Profumo. However, Aqua Dijo Eau de Parfum is really almost next in line. It kind of would be a toss-up, a coin flip between this and Profondo, right? It's going to be one of those two that's going to be next up for me. Just depends on the day. Easy as that. And on that day, maybe I'm feeling Aqua Dijo Eau de Parfum over Profondo. You know, this one's got mineral notes. It's got orange, sea notes, clary sage. Smells fantastic. It's basically the Eau de Toilette DNA, but modernized, refined, and more grown up. It's more aromatic, as you could probably imagine. You get some of the mineral notes from Profondo pushed into here, some of the orange as well, some of that clary sage aromatic feel, maybe from like an Essenza. And then even in the dry down, you get a little bit of a slight woody depth that you can somewhat kind of draw a line to Profumo with. So it's almost like this takes the best of both worlds from a few of the successful flankers and combines it into one. Ultimately, it's Aqua Dijo, but refined and mature. It is the simplest blanket statement to use for this one. But that being said, I absolutely love this stuff, and it is a star in the summertime. Next up, we have a niche product here. Has nothing to do with the price on this one or any of these. You know, that's not an aspect or a factor that I was looking into here. It's really just mostly about the personal connection with these, as you'll probably realize if you haven't realized it already. This one here is another one that fits that criteria. It's Killian Straight to Heaven. One of my favorite fragrances from the brand. One of my favorite boozy scents that I own, period. And so it's got rum, it's got cedarwood, patchouli, there's some dried fruits in here. Truly remarkable. This is the type of thing that keeps me interested in this hobby and keeps me motivated to continue to explore, you know, because once you've smelled so many things, it gets to a point where it's like, okay, can I really discover anything new that's going to reignite that flame and just get me interested again? You know, you really start doubting it and you start questioning it. And of course, there's always new things to be discovered, but sometimes you fall down these rabbit holes and you just can't quite get there. But when you smell something like this that is just so remarkable and does what it's trying to do so well, which is to essentially create this smell of, I don't know, alcohol aging in oak barrels, essentially, is kind of how this really smells. It's just truly insane how good this is. And for me, it's just one of my favorites. I love this stuff, and I would have to take it with me. I would also have to have L'Homme Ideal Eau de Parfum as well. Another one that I reach for pretty often in the fall and winter time. It's all about the almond, the cherry, the vanilla. There is some leather in here. Smells great. It's unique. It's classy. It's a gentleman's scent. It's something that you don't smell every day. And aside from the other flankers, there's nothing else out there that really smells like this one, which you can't say about everything these days. Really, a lot of things now are starting to run together in one way or another. Some more so than others, but they do. This really doesn't correlate with any other thing outside of this line, which is pretty neat. Generally, these can be a little bit hard to find. Lately, they've been pretty consistently in stock, so it seems like that supply chain issue is starting to get worked out with the Eau de Parfum. The Extreme and things of that nature are still a little bit harder to get, but you can now get this one pretty easily, so that's not really the factor. It's mostly just, I think about it a lot, I reach for it a lot, even if I'm not spraying it on and wearing it, I'm picking it up and just smelling it like I just did there on camera, because I just like to experience this one, and so I would have to have it. Another niche product up next, we have Layton by Parfums de Marly. I've got a ton of clones, obviously. A lot of the clones that I have and have talked about are just top-notch and some of the best clones on the market. Not even just talking clones of this, which they are, but clones, period. Like all of the other products that there are clones of out there, Detour Noir, Amber Oud, Blue, those are fantastic top level clones to the point where it's kind of scary, but also very impressive. So yeah, I've got all that stuff, right? Ultimately, it would just be a Layton of some sort. If not the real deal, it would be one of the clones. However, in a situation like that, I would probably just go for this one anyway. If I was having to grab one and take it before the rest burned down, it would probably be the real thing. That being said, though, it's just this DNA is what I gotta have with me. I love it. And if I'm not wearing this, I'm wearing one of those clones that I've talked about. But I do have this scent style on me, or sprayed up in the air, or just consumed, not, physically, but just smelling it in one way or another all the time. I'm almost obsessed with this stuff. Really got to have this one as well. The One Luminous Night by Dolce & Gabbana. This is all about the dates. There's some cardamom in here, some amber, some sandalwood. It smells amazing, and it's a different take. It really has a nice kind of almost, not chocolatey, but I don't know, almost a caramel type of smell. Also a little bit of a slight sweetness and almost an edible form off the dry down. Not so much off the opening, but that dry down almost kind of hints in the direction of a slight gourmand type of smell, but not fully on. So this one just has a lot going on for it. Brings a lot of new ideas to the table and just how it's executed. It is something different, something that you really haven't smelled anywhere else, even though it is the one flanker. It kind of does something different here, and it's interesting. It's one that I smell a lot, I spray a lot, I wear a lot. A little bit hard to get, but ultimately I would just have to have this one because I think about it all the time. Second to last, we have Spice Bomb Extreme. This is easy to get pretty much anywhere. Retailers, discounters, not a problem. However, in the wintertime, fall and wintertime, I'm all about this stuff. It's just one of the best tobacco and vanilla scents for men. On the designer side, that is right around $100, $105. There's plenty more out there. You can get more expensive, you can get cheaper, but this one, I think, all things considered, all around, best bang for your buck with performance and quality and even uniqueness all factored into one. This just kind of is the winner for me. And so I would definitely have to save this one. Now, last up for this video would actually be La Nuit de l'Homme Bleu Electrique. It would be either this or the original Eau de Toilette, either of the two. However, preferably I would take Bleu Electrique because this, to me, and the reason why I liked it so much and still do like it so much, but the reason why I was so excited about it and talking about it so much when you could actually buy it for about not even a full year before it got discontinued, very bizarre, was that it takes that original Eau de Toilette DNA back in the day, that 2009, 2010, the old style vintage batches, and it almost brings that back, but with a little bit of a refreshed modern smell slightly. I would say 5% is freshened up, but the rest of the 95 is that OG vintage La Nuit de l'Homme style, that rich cardamom spice, just that kind of lavender textured aromatic base underneath all that warm spicy cardamom, just everything going on like that. This DNA is just a work of art. It would have to be one of the two, but again, I would probably just go for Bleu Electrique because it's the rarer of the two, and depending on if I had to choose one to keep for life, if I was able to have enough of it, it probably would be Bleu Electrique. That just isn't feasible in real life. I only have so many bottles of this, and I wouldn't really do that. I wear the Eau de Toilette more than this in a lot of instances, but I do in some ways like this one better. It's just rare, and it hurts me to spray it. I was hesitating to spray it up in the air there, but it's been a while. I have it, I should enjoy it, but this is the one I would save. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for me. 10 fragrances I would save if my house was burning down and I was actually focused on saving my fragrances, which again, in real life, I wouldn't be. Hopefully I wouldn't even be downstairs. I would be upstairs, in which I would grab what's actually important and get out. But hey, just for fun, these are the things that I would save. Let me know down below what you would save as well from your collection. What are things that really mean a lot to you and have a special place in your mind that you would save them? That's kind of what this video was all about for me, was just kind of expressing to you guys the fragrances that I have a heavy connection with, and that's ultimately why I would decide to save those. Links will be down below. Deals will be going out to my mailing list almost every day. So if you want to have a chance of getting some rare, hard to find things, anything in this video that's a little bit hard to get, chances are will show up at some point, and I will send an email out. Blue Electrique has shown up several times, and I've sent out several emails about that one. And you guys have been able to get it every time before it sells out really quickly. So make sure you get on that list. Over on TikTok as well, if you want some short form content, you could check that out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.